Hi, welcome to the 2017 Muskegon Community College Jayhawk Baseball Fall Preview. My name is Mike Richard. I'm the pitching coach here at MCC. Sitting to my left is the head coach, Greg Guzman. I'm actually going to have him introduce our entire coaching staff, and we're just going to chat a little bit today about what we expect and the things that we're looking for out of a fall season at the community college baseball level. Coach?
Yes, to the far right is Coach Shane Beach. He handles our hitters, works with catchers, and our outfield. Coach Richard is our latest acquisition. He handles our pitchers. Not present today is Coach Moyer. Coach Moyer played in our program 2010, 2011. He helps with hitters, does all of our infield work, bunting, and strength and conditioning. I handle primarily fundraising, academics, and the overall operations of the baseball program. So everybody's got a pretty big role in this program. We also have an academic advisor, Coach Ripma. He oversees all of our academics. He also is the department chair for the health, physical education, recreation, and he helps with the planning of our spring Florida trip. So
there's a lot that goes into making a college baseball season go off. The fall season, I think, is a very good chance that we get to look at all of our players, introduce them to the college baseball life. Why don't we talk a little bit, guys, about the actual expectations of a fall season? Coach Beach, what is it about the fall that you would like to see happen?
Well, it's really exciting for me is getting to see the freshmen that are coming into our program. Also seeing the sophomores come back after a year of experience out here. They know what to expect. Freshmen are getting their feet wet. We get out here with 50 players or more, and a lot of the freshmen coming in understand that it's not high school baseball anymore. There's a little bit more work involved. So it's very interesting to see. We're a couple weeks into it thus far, and weather's been fantastic, which has been a big help to get out in the field and see everybody perform. So that's the biggest thing that I like to see is see how players perform and see how they get after it and see how the recruits are doing that we brought in.
Right. Coach?
Yeah, for myself, a little bit different than Coach Beach's role being the preparation that goes into a practice plan of 52 guys is a minor nightmare on a nightly basis, but you know, it's temporary for the most part. The players kind of fall off a little bit on their own. Regarding our sophomores, it's more to find them guys a home for next year so they can continue their academic and athletic careers, and then for the incoming freshmen to get them on the radar for some of the four-year universities to see what they're all about and follow them a little bit on the baseball field and kind of see how they're doing in the classroom as well. So a lot goes into it, but yes, the smiling faces, the bright eyes of the incoming freshmen when they kind of see how we run a daily practice, how our program operates, is kind of a culture shock compared to being the best player generally on their baseball team coming out of the area high schools.
For me, it's been a lot of fun getting to see so many. So I'm position-specific players out there every single day working hard. We've been trying to create a culture here of just toughness, head down, go get the work done, and to watch the players respond to that, because it is different for these guys for sure coming in. It's been really fun to watch them kind of take it and run with it, watch certain players step up into leadership roles. We'll get a little bit later, we'll have our captains come in, we'll introduce them, and to watch those guys help some of these younger players transition, help them to teach them the way to go about their day-to-day operations. And I think that it is a shock to a lot of these guys to find out that a baseball practice isn't an hour and a half, a shower, and then you're home. So it's been a lot of fun for me. So for the fall season in general, we are trying to take 50-plus guys, whittle them down to what will be our spring roster, and we actually take advantage of a full game schedule, daily practices, so we're getting to see these guys live action rather than just in a gym tryout situation. So it's really good to see these guys' baseball instincts, what skills they have in real live action, and that's how we're going to get to pick our players, and instead of just certain measurables that you normally would get in a tryout situation. So I think that, on top of like Coach Beach said, the incredible weather we've had for the fall, it's been a really good start, I think, to what we have going forward. So I think it would be probably not, it would be doing an injustice, I think, to not talk about the balance of academics and athletics and what that takes on a day-to-day basis. So why don't you go ahead, Coach, and talk about a few of the things that we have in place to help them get through that.
Yes, some of the things that we kind of put in place for each student athlete is they're all required to do 4 hours a week in the library. We hold a weekly study table from 6 to 7:30 on Tuesday evenings to ensure that they're here for the right reasons. That being the degree, and setting themselves up for later in life with the education. So them are two of the biggest things. A college student athlete's daily schedule probably consists of getting up in the morning, going to class, getting in the library, coming to practice, hitting a study table once a week, and then studying, whether it be the baseball playbook or their academics. So it's a busy schedule. An average student athlete should get at least a minimum of 8 hours rest a night. So it's a pretty compact schedule for them, and our expectations for them are pretty high as well. So it's a high wire balancing act for the incoming freshmen for sure. The freshmen have the sophomores, have a little better idea of what's expected and what's required, and I think they have a little better balance of the whole trajectory of everything going into their sophomore year. So
right.
Yeah, I think the balance and getting a routine is very important for the incoming freshmen. Of course, the sophomores have started to develop that. One of the misconceptions is coming in, you've got 12, 15 credits and you've got all this free time. But when you're a college athlete, that free time fills up really fast with
right.
your study tables and your schoolwork alone, and then you're spending 2 to 3 to 4 hours working on baseball, and then you've got to put time in lifting, conditioning. You've really got a regimen that you've got to get in a routine and continue to work to be successful on the academic side and on the baseball field, of course.
Yep.
So, go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, we've got a little bit of community involvement we do too that kind of puts a strain on the guys. We just finished up with our Sportsmen for Youth community event. There were 14 student athletes that went out to the Muskegon County 4-H fairgrounds and just gave back a little bit to what the community gives to us on a yearly basis. So great exposure for the young men, and it's always good to see them working with young kids and kind of showing them the way and kind of what's required as they grow and develop into fine young men. So,
well, that's actually a pretty good transition into talking a little bit about the players and the coaches together. We have a lot of responsibility. It's budget-wise to find ways to make all of this stuff happen. So we do have a lot of outside events, fundraisers, things like that we ask the team and the community to get involved in. We have a bowling fundraiser coming up in October that we will all be a part of. We have what we're going to call our preseason plate that will happen in February. If you go to the Muskegon Community College website and click on the athletics and find the baseball page, we'll have all of that stuff updated if you want to get involved in that. It takes a lot of people, a lot of coordination, a lot of involvement to make something like this happen and to have it be a great experience for everybody involved, so we appreciate all that. I know I can speak for all three of us. We're just itching to talk about some actual baseball here, so Coach, why don't you talk to us about what you're excited about with our team for the fall?
Yeah, first on that note, Coach, I just want to say we want to have the community involved more than ever.
Yes,
and that's why we're reaching out. We want everybody to understand. Come to our games, come to our practices, enjoy the weather. Games are free, so I mean, you come here for a free ticket and see some really good baseball. So we'd love the community to come out, support us, be here, cheer on the guys. It helps them as well.
Absolutely.
On the baseball side of it, a lot of good things we're seeing so far. Seeing a lot of good freshmen coming through. The great sophomore leadership that I think has been a big plus that we've seen so far. We're deep, I think, in a lot of areas, and this being my second year, I don't have a lot of teams to compare them to at Muskegon Community College, but as far as depth goes, we've got some positions that 6-7 guys deep, and
Right.
so there's going to be a lot of good competition that we're already seeing already from guys that are working very hard to try and earn that spot.
That's been my favorite part, is watching. Everyone's on high alert right now. We got guys coming in and performing, so nobody's comfortable, and we got guys working their tails off out here to ensure a spot. Nothing's guaranteed, and it's been really fun to watch that, a little bit of the banter going back and forth, but mostly just guys coming in and like, hey, I'm gonna earn a spot. I want to play, and it's been fun.
Yes, I think comparable to last year, I think our pitching depth is a little bit deeper this year, which should lead ultimately to more victories. At least that's the game plan. The overall depth, kind of as the coaches had mentioned, is pretty good. Our middle of the infield, our center field positions, and behind the plate, we're pretty strong at. First base, we've got a couple guys that can drive the baseball. So it's going to be a fun year in 2018, and we're expecting to compete for conference, regional, and nationals. So expectations are high, and we're getting after it every day. So it's a great thing.
So we are, like we said, right around 50 or more most of the time, and a few of those guys will be weeded out through just the difference, I think, and not realizing what it was they got into, and then the rest of it will be on us to whittle those guys down to the guys that we're going to take with us. Coach, what are some of the things that you look for in a player that ultimately you will be keeping on the roster to go into the spring with?
Yeah, like I tell all athletes, and especially our ball players that are now a part of the program, in coming in, we look for grit guys. We look for guys that want to work hard, really putting in the extra time. It's very important that they understand the routine. We're a team that likes to pride ourselves. I mean, everybody is on pitching. We love hitters in the lineup that are going to smash the ball. We've got a lot to replace in our hitting rotation from last year. But a lot of capable guys. So we love an offensive-minded team. We're very aggressive on the base paths, and our pitching comes around. It's going to be strong.
Yes, for me, obviously being a higher institution, probably what I'm most proud of is our academics. We were last year the highest GPA in the athletic department, so that's something I'm extremely proud of. And then right after academics is accountability. Own up to the mistakes we're going to make as young men and just grow from it. We've all been there, we've all made them. Just be honest, be upfront, and let's tackle it and move forward, put it behind us, and use it as a learning tool, and grow from it and become productive young men into society at some point when their baseball careers are over, which generally happens to most of us at some point in this game. So
I'm always looking for heart. That's a big thing for me. When you get to this level, talent kind of becomes widely distributed and even in a lot of areas. Obviously, these guys are all talented. That's why we have them here. So for me, it's heart. Which one of these guys wants it more than the guy next to him or the guy across the field from them? And I would say that there's probably no way to overestimate how much heart a kid has. I think a lot of times, like we all do, I know it can overcome being undersized. It can overcome maybe not throwing quite as hard, but being able to work a little harder, willing to go out there and go the extra mile. And then the other thing is selflessness, right? We talk a lot about that as a coaching staff. Yeah. Playing for the name on the front of your shirt instead of the name on the back of your shirt is one of the slogans that we use a lot around here. And I think that it's beginning to translate with the guys, I think, a little bit. It's, these guys learn real quick to pick up after themselves, to do things the right way. And so I think that the freshmen are learning from the sophomores. Is starting to become more of a blended culture. And on that note, I think that we're going to take a little break. But when we come back, we'll have a couple of our sophomores, our captains from our team. We're going to talk a little bit with them and what it means to be a Jayhawk. And we'll do that when we come right back. Welcome back. This is the 2017 fall preview for Muskegon Community College Jayhawk baseball. We are sitting out here outside on a beautiful day at our Jayhawk baseball field. I am here today with the captains of our team. On my right here is our middle infielder, middle of the lineup, Nate Bonter. We are looking for big things out of him this year. And on my left is pitcher, our closer primarily, Garrett Bomay. I'm going to start by just having these guys introduce themselves a little bit, and then we'll get into a little bit of baseball chat. Go ahead.
I'm Nathan Bonter, came out of Grand Haven High School, currently play the middle infield for the Jayhawks. Like Coach said, middle of the lineup, really anywhere kind of guy, and just looking to provide some leadership for this team this year, and I'm looking forward to it.
Garrett Bomay, I am from Grant. My third year here, so I know what coaches want and all that stuff. Been here for a while. I'm a pitcher, closer. I love to close. It's my favorite position. Like to come in and finish what the pitcher couldn't finish. So it's good being here. I love it.
So I will start with a little bit of the not so fun stuff, right? So you're coming off from a shoulder injury, surgery, torn labrum.
Correct.
So you missed all of last year.
Yes.
Why don't you talk to us a little bit about the frustrations, what it was like to go through that kind of injury, and ultimately what we want to focus on is what did you learn from having to sit back and watch through a whole season?
Well, it was a big turning point in my career. Kind of went down when in October, just had a game where it just did not feel right, went to the doctors, and hearing that news that I tore my labrum was probably one of the worst news I've heard. And it was pretty rough, but I've learned a lot of things from it, watching the team, watching how people evolved, and it kind of helped me evolve, kind of like learning what I need to do for a team. It kind of put a lot of things on my back as well. So going through programs, knowing I have to work a lot harder now because I'm coming off an injury. It's kind of a hard injury to come back from.
Yeah.
So I just really got to grind now. It's more grinding, grind till I can get back into things.
So the exciting news is that we've gone through most of the PT, most of the throwing sessions, and we're back now at recover at your own pace, right? So you're throwing a baseball off a mound again. It's got to feel great. What are you going to be looking for as you transition back into an active part of the team instead of just kind of outsider looking in?
I'm looking to come back in the same role that I had. Closer, I'd love to be able to get back into that. Working hard at it. Just got cleared last Friday, be able to start coming in. So I've been getting in that mound. It's at my own pace and just doing everything that I feel like I need to do before I can get back into things.
Well, I know we're super excited to have you back. Actually, on the same kind of a plane here, what was it like to lose someone on your team as critical as the closer, one of the leaders on your team like Garrett was?
Well, coming in as a freshman, like you have a idea, concept of who everybody kind of is, the big name players, and obviously Garrett was one of those guys. And I've never seen him pitch or anything before other than when he started out the season in the fall, and everybody knew what his potential was, how good he could be. And of course the news of hearing that was, not only hard on us, I can only imagine what it was like on him, but luckily we had some other guys step up, some guy had to take his role.
Sure.
And it was rough, but luckily we had other leaders on the team that could surpass.
So I think when you have a situation like this, and I'm pretty sure you guys will probably agree, it's one of those learning moments where you mesh a little bit, right? So you got a man down, it's next man in mentality, right? Because there's always a job to get done. But you also want to pick that guy up. You want to make him feel as much a part of the team as when he was out there chucking the baseball every day.
And it can't go unnoticed how much work Garrett was putting in just outside of the baseball field and everything, like not just academically one of the smartest guys on the team, but just that guy to talk to, it's a great thing for a freshman knowing you can always go to talk to a guy like Garrett.
Perfect. So that actually rolls perfectly into what I wanted to ask you guys about. We'll start with you because obviously Garrett's out with me and the pitchers a lot, and so we have 5 guys that pitch exclusively, and almost everybody else is a two-way pitcher position player, so you get to see almost everybody on a daily basis, and you're out there grinding with them while we're out doing our thing in the bullpen. But what do you remember as a first-year player that kind of maybe took you by surprise, and what is it now that you try to do as a leader on our team to help bring those guys along so it's an easier transition for them?
Well, academically, for sure, is just creating a system that works for you. Everybody's schedule is so different. Some guys go in at 8, some guys go in at 12, some guys are all online guys, and personally, I like to go to the school because I feel like I like the hands-on type thing.
Yep.
But So yeah, that's number one with academics is you got to have a system and it's got to work for you. But on the baseball field, I mean, my favorite part is seeing all these young guys like the freshmen, like I was when I came in. You know, there were two guys up the middle that were really good guys to talk to, really good leaders. So I always went to them for assistance, and I kind of look now like I can see young guys like Smith and, you know, we don't need to say names, Hanson, whatever. You know, they come to me and they ask me questions, and I love it. I'm like,
Right.
I feel like they remind me of it myself, you know?
Right.
And I guess my biggest job is just everything I do is almost put on a pedestal because everybody's watching.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to everything, when library hours, you know, academics, when it comes to hustling and stuff like that, if I don't win, I'm not succeeding in what I'm supposed to be doing.
And
So
I've talked a lot about that with Garrett too, is when we're out there, a lot of times I'll leave him out there to run what's going on, and I'm coming in to try to get a look at how guys are throwing and live at-bats and things like that. And every time I walk away from him, I say, Garrett, don't let anybody outwork you. Don't let anybody outwork you. It's got to be you. So there is definitely that aspect of it. You're under a microscope when you have that C on your shoulder. And we are very proud here. I think one of the things that we talked about as a coaching staff is this is not a ceremonial position. This is a job for you guys to do, right? We're not just shaking your hand saying congratulations and moving on. You guys earned that. So as a pitcher who sees probably fewer of the people day to day while we're doing our work until the end of the practice, what do you feel like is your responsibility out there when you're looking 4 guys square in the eyes and saying, hey, I need you to do this, I need you to do this? What do you got going on out there?
Out there, gotta make sure we're all working hard. We always can't be leaning up on the fence, watching the game. We gotta be doing something. I know that's one of Coach's biggest pet peeve is.
Coach Guzman, yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
Coach Guzman hates when we land or standing up against the fence, just watching what's going on.
Right.
So we gotta make sure we're always working, and we got them going hard. Always got agilities or something to do.
Right.
So there's a lot of hardworking men out there. It's a fun time being out there with them, seeing them work and working with them, and always seeing stuff.
So as players out here, peers with the rest of the guys on the team, what is it about this year that you're looking forward to, maybe compared to last year or just as a new season going forward? We'll start with you, Nate.
I just love how we're going to have to do things differently with small ball, with, you know, hitting in the right situation, coming up clutch when you need to come up clutch.
So we lost some guys in the lineup.
Oh,
is what you're
we lost
referring
a
to. Go ahead.
good part of it.
Talk
Probably,
a little bit about that.
I mean, at least 5 guys that were essential to winning games we lost in obviously the lineup hitting wise, but something we have this year that we didn't have last year is I think the guys, I mean, and it's easy to say, but I truly believe we're just a lot more grittier than we were last year.
Yeah.
We get after it a lot more. We got a lot of guys. I think we got better contact than last year as well. I mean, we had 2 pretty good power guys we don't have this year, but I mean, we got a bunch of doubles guys. We got a bunch of guys that are going to knock in runs. And I mean, I think we're going to pick it. We lost a good infielder last year, but I mean, me as well as other guys, I know are ready to replace him and
good.
Make it happen.
How about from the pitching side? What are you looking forward to this year besides throwing the baseball again?
Besides throwing the baseball, I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more freshmen coming up. I know we got some really good freshmen coming in, and they're going to be able to step up. And I think we got the guys who can step into the roles and make a good relief or even some starters out of them. And I think we got a good bunch of us out there.
So one of the things that I was super excited about coming into this coaching staff in particular is that I know that as coaches we are all very like-minded. So we try to make it a point that if you were to come to any one of us and ask us a question, you're going to get the same answer from any of the coaches. And now we kind of pass a little bit of that off onto you guys. What do you say probably is the most common question that you get from a young player? What is it that they come to you the most with as far as like just trying to help them understand what they're supposed to be doing here?
Most of it is going to be like bunt plays and stuff like that, asking what we should be doing on this, all that stuff. I know a lot of them get like some of them mixed up between like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all that stuff. So
that's actually a really good point. One thing that I wanted to talk about. Give me an idea of in high school how many say bunt defenses you had.
Probably none.
And we laugh, but that's not uncommon. It's like, hey, go get it, right? The guy bunted, go get it, right? How many do we have here?
Tons. Well, it depends. We got guys on first, there's 7 for that. Guys on second, there's 7 for that. And guys on first, third, there's almost another 7 for that.
Right. So that's what you're seeing as they come in. They're like, what, 21 different plays we have to remember?
Yeah, in high school, you're used to playing, just play the bunt.
Yeah, exactly.
If it comes to you, you're getting it.
Right.
Like,
Exactly.
play D.
So talk about that a little bit, Nate, from the defensive side of things. So you're the captain of our infield, right? And you got guys out there that are getting this look for the first time, and you got a catcher that comes out and puts a call on, and all of a sudden you got 3 guys that are staring at you with big eyes like, I don't know what that was, right? It's happening a lot in the fall, so how do you handle something like that?
I definitely understand McClellan's pain from last year. I remember being at third and just nonstop asking Colin, I'm like, wait, we're doing 2, right? Like, 2, this is when I come, like, you know what I mean? And I love it though, you know, like, to know that they're coming to me for the help, and I know what I'm doing out there, you know, with a year under my belt and everything. I know what's going on, and it's just, I don't know, I love it, because last year, you know, it's a new thing. You're always so constantly worried about everything. You're always trying to impress coaches. You're always trying to get everything going, and then you forget, like, it's baseball. Like, if you think, like, I have guys ask me about when they play third base and there's a runner on first for a bunt, it's like, you're on third base. There's almost every time you're going to come in and get that ball, and then get your can back. But I mean, it's just fun, and they'll be settled in, and it'll be great.
So our slogan for this year is going to be dig every day. I'm going to give you a tough question. I'm going to give you a cookie here. Dig every day. What does that mean to you on a baseball diamond?
For us, it means we're going to grind as hard as we can. We're going to go that extra mile that other teams won't go. We're going to work our butts off and do what we can to help the team win the game.
Right. So I'm going to give you a little tougher one.
I'm ready.
Outside of baseball, right, we talk about community involvement. We talk about academics. We talk about being better people, because you're only here for 2 years at the most, right?
Yep.
What does dig every day mean to you outside of a baseball question?
You know, baseball is one little thing in our lives that we'll I mean, it's a huge thing, but when you look back on everything, like, that's when you make the friendships, and that's when you make, like, baseball's just life, I guess you could say. It always revolves around everything. You'll take it into everywhere. At least that's what I hear from, you know, all the coaches I've ever had. And I think with the community involvement, it's huge, because I want more people to, like, enjoy baseball like I enjoy baseball. And, you know, if we get involved in the community, more people will come watch games, more people appreciate what we're doing, which is how I love how Coach Guz and you guys are developing that into a new system. And another thing is just friendships, you know, like, dig every day. I mean, the friends that I've created just through baseball and just being outside of baseball, just being at the school and everything, you know, it's not a huge campus, so you see a lot of the same faces every day, and it's great. I mean, I just love it. I mean, baseball, yeah, it's life, but here for 2 years, you got to make the most of it.
Well, I can tell you from experience, and I know you'll get the same thing from anybody else on this staff, that when you look back, there are very few baseball moments that you remember, but you remember the culture, you remember the experience and the people a lot more. So, well, I'll make this promise to you guys. We're going to work our butts off. We're going to make dig every day come to life. As far as the community goes, we're going to get out there. Our faces are going to be seen, and we are going to try to get as many people involved as we can, right? So 2017 fall is going to translate into 2018. We're going to do great things.
Going to.
Thanks for coming out, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.